This video is part of a presentation on denial of service on RTC systems. This is the fourth part, which is about DoS on RTC monitoring tools. When it comes to recording systems, we don't usually think of denial of service as something to be concerned about. However, what we found was that if an attacker were to make a call and send large amounts of RTP packets, this can cause problems. So we have a demo for this and, um, and as you can see in this diagram, we have a target that happens to be running software called VoIP Monitor for monitoring calls and asterisk. VoIP Monitor is used to monitor these calls that we will be attacking. And then we have the attacker who makes calls to Zoiper. So first we SSH to the target system and show that asterisk is already running. Then we start VoIP Monitor. We start that within screen actually. Then we can change the directory to var spool VoIP Monitor and monitor the size of the directory and files. This will update every 2 seconds. So we'll make a call
sorry, but that's not a valid
and see that
Please try
RTP and audio are being recorded and stored in this directory. So now we can show the actual attack. We SSH into the attacker machine and create a file called payload.txt. This file contains 512 characters. We're going to be using this file as the RTP payload. Then we run sybvicious, the RTP flood command, giving it the IP of the target machine, and tell it to call Zoiper and use the payload that we just created. So when Zoiper picks up, one could perhaps hear the ticking. That's our RTP payload that is being sent at a very high rate. On the other window, we can see the files changing, the file size changing. It changed very quickly. Give it some time. Yeah, so it changed very quickly because there is some sort of delay in the SSH connection due to the RTP attack. However, you can immediately see the size goes up to 2 gigs and it keeps going almost 5 gigs for the audio directory after the recording was stopped. So with network monitoring solutions that produce PCAPs, we have also seen something similar. However, it might be a bit more difficult to exploit because the solution might only monitor specific SIP messages or have specific filters. Having said that, we have seen that SIP flood or sending of large SIP messages may sometimes produce a similar effect. Now, one thing that we came across was a firewall rule that had uh, that was configured like this. So it was logging all dropped packets to syslog. Well, when you run something like the above, like this command, you pipe devu random to netcat, or simply run a port scan, we noticed that the syslog would just go crazy and the system would become unusable until the attack is stopped. So that's it when it comes to monitoring tools. The next one is about DoS on callbacks.